My name is Hui Wang. In the next half hour around, I'm going to tell a story of my own. I'm not excellent in giving lectures, so please be patient if I'm stuck in process. Allow me have a second to stop, smile, and move on. 4 years university life normally play a significant role in one's life. Graduation, a downgrade, a turning point in your life. However, my university life successfully turned me from a person who once showed that in acquiring knowledge in childhood, who might have potential of intellectual capacity, to a banal model-head one. At age 24, I graduate, but have no clue what type of job I should aim for, or in which domain I have strengths. But it's not particularly difficult for a fresh undergraduate to find a job. I hastily grabbed one. Medical sales representative, something barely relevant with my major, biochemical engineer. In the next 5 or 6 years, my fate was tied with this field, no matter how desperately I struggle to exit. This type of job is gray, something between on and under table. I found pointless, became sluggish and anguish, lingering between losing a job and finding another one. It was a dark phase of my career life. Like a tiny boat, I drift aimless and hopeless on an endless ocean. At age 29, I met a good man who became my boyfriend soon after. I have to confess, his appearance in my life immediately gave me a sense that finally I found anchor I can rest upon. This sense came across my mind even before I had developed any emotional bond to him. I was wrong, another case of illusion. You might already guess. But we'd been together for 4 years around, during which I did develop the deepest attachment to him. Emotionally, I clung onto him as my dearest. I even prayed an opportunity of sacrificing my life for him descended on me to show how I love him. Unfortunately, this relationship ended up cruelly. I was kicked out of his spacious apartment with his declare, "Get out of here, it's not the world belong to you." So humiliating and heartbreaking mixed. Many years passed before I can calmly accept this fact and admit that I must have various issues he could no longer put up with. Now in retrospect, I look at my behavior in that relationship in a very distinct, self-reproach way. How narrow frame I thought and lived in that period. How foolish I am letting this man occupy my whole mind and soul. How sick this relationship would involve to if I only managed to grip it instead of thrive it in the fear of losing it. Girls, be careful. Don't drop the trap of love. Don't let men to be center or even the whole world to you. For a woman, put affair of love to the small corner of your big world. That's advice I can give now. I guess most of us experience moments in which you suddenly became aware of your own inner voice. The moments reveal who you are, what you really want to do. I had these moments too. It was a nice summer afternoon in 2004. I was 30. The apartment was quiet. I alone seated idly on that white leather sofa and turned on TV. A closing ceremony of Olympic game in Athens was on. It was splendid. I was joined immediately. The program was on carry on one by one. a fabulous show of great culture of Asian civilization. And gradually, I noticed something unusual within me crept up. A mixed feeling, starting from impression, then admiration, followed by shame. A big shame of my uselessness in contrast. This emotional torrent was quickly aggregated so strong that I can't hold myself anymore. A big cry yelled out, my tears burst out and streamed down. In the next hours, I cried and howled that my tears wash out my shame and sorrow accumulated in my body for many years until I felt purged. A small worm called drive dwelled in my body but kept dormant until one day it is stimulated, revived and until wide awaken. It wrinkle, gnaw, shiver my soul and cry out distinctly, I want to be useful. I want to be valuable to this society. I witnessed the marvelous of human civilization. It's developed in the history, but it's still on. I, as a human being, want to contribute a tiny part of my own in this process. The result of this accident is my solid learning plan. In mid-long term, including communicate in English freely by 2008. I remember another moment dawned on me. It was another summer in 2007. Sitting in the bright classroom in the private English school, I was supposed to engage in some essay reading, but my mind fly out of the classroom. I was in a trance. It can happen considering the circumstance that I was on the edge of breaking up that relationship. What's the point of life? If there's no somebody you can love, what make you live on? I questioned. After a while, a voice from somewhere struck across my head. Yourself, a better self. I said this sweet voice immediately. Yes, I live for myself, a better me in all ways. Since then, I have set self-improvement as my life goal. More than 10 years passed. This goal, nevertheless, became formal. Before I move on to the next chapter of my life, there is an incident deserved to mention. GRE came to me in a dramatic way. It was 2001, 3 years after graduation. At that time, I was forced to leave a tasteless job in Fiverr and have no clue where's my next. I was perplexed and despaired. Right then, at the famous sentence, seek hope in despair. 在绝望中寻找希望 came to my eyes and catch me immediately. It's like igniting a light of hope in darkness. Many young people, like me, feel thwarted and despaired in reality, chase after GRE. So did I. I took it firmly and passionately, not only as my only opportunity, but also as my consolation as well. Not surprisingly, I took a trip to Beijing to attend their accommodation class in Xindongfang, but the whole experience with GRE for me was weird. On the one hand, I studied passionately on GRE vocabulary in that red Bible. I attend class, do questions. On the other hand, I have no idea what I learned GRE for. I don't know which major or school I should choose and apply and how to apply. I was totally blind with this information. GRE itself became a symbol of hope for me at that time. Now recalling this incident, I think it's really a good case to demonstrate how absurd a fad or an instigator and a group of blind followers can lead to. I will not deny benefit I get from the GRE learning. My logical thinking start to work. First time I learned concept of assumption, premise, conclusion, etc. I begin to use logic and reasoning and analyze things. I feel my brain was not that muddled anymore. Rational thinking departed on my head. I witnessed a miracle occur in my body. During my early 20s, I tend to feel tired, listless, especially my two legs, heavy and sore. The issues were not so serious during my early 20s, but they had gone from bad to worse, year after year, since my late 20s. In the worst case, I barely can walk, but only lying down, my leg pain and soring. I went to hospital and consulted a number of doctors, did a different kind of inspection, but the conclusion is no organic disease. And the doctor have no clue about my symptom. I turned to Chinese medicine doctor and drank a great deal of Chinese medicine, but the effort was in vain, more or less. These facts made me extremely frustrated. Around that period, I came in contact with nutriology. I explored inadvertently at that time. I explored this new knowledge domain eagerly and applying various nutrition approach and program on me with enthusiasm. Gradually, I see a series of changes happen to me. My leg gains strength slowly. I can walk longer without feeling fatigue. Mysteriously, a dark gray cloud appeared on one of my big toe and grew out. It's like a devil left my body. In the end, I feel fresh. I feel freshness and unprecedented vitality in me. New me was born. I was about 33. I set about my first hiking trip at age 34. Figuratively, my first footprint stepped on paths of exploring the big world resolutely and independently. It was the summer in 2008. Destination was Qinghai Lake. I met two handsome and quality guys in youth hostel, and we decided to form a group spontaneously. The next day, we three launched a 2-day trip hiking along Qinghai Lake. In general, it was a crazy and romantic trip. At this age, I still can embrace such studenthood romance freely. A surprise life gave to me. Gradually, courage and cheerfulness grew inside me. I dare to set forth my life journey fearless toward unknown future. but with ambiguous and sweet hope this time. Meantime, I gained wisdom from that sophisticated partner from that trip, systematical thinking. My job career began to on the right track. With second bachelor degree, international business, international trade and economic on hand, and my OK English by then, I finally found a job in a trading company as an assistant. Seeing from positive perspective, I successfully shifted to international business area. I start put attention on current news, public topic. I seek for right industry and opportunity I can pierce into. In the end, I cast my eyes on solar industry, a business mainly across international boundary at that time. The very bright and prospect, a long holistic industrial chain. Personal career can develop in it with big space and systematically. Here it is. I squeezed into it by working as a provisional salesperson in a solar component factory at the beginning. In the following 10 years around, I moved position from international sales, international purchaser, project manager to solar technical consultant. Each position has quite different requirement, assignment. Therefore, new challenge, some big, some small, come up. But I basically managed to overcome them, starting from a title to a veteran in this industry. It's a bright phase of my career life. I have passion. I devote myself in it. Why? Because it's business, but beyond that, it's also doing good to our earth. I feel proud to be a member of photovoltaic industry. Did I sail through smoothly from one job to another? No, solar business environment changed dramatically, therefore impact the survival of each company involved. Under smaller circumstances, each company has its own management style. My ambition to be a good project manager was thwarted partly by bias, by gender discrimination. There's idle time between these jobs. Travel played a significant role in my life. In short, travel shaped me in part. During traveling, I came in contact with Buddhism. I attended 10 days meditation class in a Buddha retreat center in India. First time I listened to Buddha teaching to learn meditation technique. The process was very impressive. There's a moment I cannot forget. It was last day we practiced love meditation. The music was played upon my ears. In no time, I feel my heart was resonant with this music. My tears were up. My throat choked, and I began to wipe my nose, and lasted for whole class. The whole situation is like I was immersed in the sympathy ocean, and I cannot contain myself. I have a wonderful memory in Thailand. Registered as a volunteer in a self-sustained local farm not far from Pai. I happily found it is a small international community made up of around 10 people coming from different countries. We work half day on farm. The rest of half day we entertain ourselves in many different ways. We do yoga, meditation, we read book, we cook meal for ourselves. sitting in circle, dying and talking various interesting topics, non-relevant with money. We drink or even dance when we were high. Those are happiest moments in my life. I wander between a normal life and alternative one. Another official Buddhism practice is also took place in Thailand for me. I stayed in a forestry temple for 14 days. But this time I prepared before entering the temple. I had read a good number of essays about Buddha teaching, and had at least grasped some essence of Buddhism. During practice, I raised a serious question in my heart. As a committed Buddhist, does she or he have to choose to find a solitude place to devote themselves to practice Buddhism in all lifetime, totally exclusive from this earthly world? The only path advocated by Buddha, or is there an alternative one, a better one? He or she could practice Buddhism in this earthly world, do something good to this world in this lifetime as an engaged Buddhist. Yes, I choose latter, an engaged Buddhist, which echo with my inner drive cried out before. The last 2 summers, I traveled in Europe in my way. There was a time I ran a bicycle in Geneva and ride it along in Alps mountains, the place I once dreamed to go. My way of riding is really lousy. With my own pace, I ride it on flat or little steep road, but work when encountering steep one. But I sucked the freshness of Alps. I gaze at beauty of landscape, picturesque landscape. I bathed in the Alps' idyllic serenity. I ride in this way for 3 days. In Alps mountain across Switzerland and France. I had reached a small town in France and have a lunch at the cave bar. The woman there told me, first time she received a Chinese person. Surprise, considering nowadays Chinese tourists show every corner in the world, but still, I reclaim a spot of fresh ground. I feel kind of surprised. I feel kind of proud. During the whole journey, I carried only 2 small bottles of water with me, because I believe the residents in Alps were happy to offer me a bottle of fresh water if a strange rider asked for. I gave them a chance to give. I create opportunity to communicate with local people and let them feel happy when they can help people, help a stranger. If any advice I can give to travel, especially travel abroad, that is, drop the mind of hunting for novelty, dropping the mind that we are different people by nature. Instead, try to think, understand why, what existed behind this difference if you see or encounter. Try to communicate with local people. Try to think from their perspective. And in this way, your mind will change. Your mind frame will become much bigger, and you travel out not only physically, but also mentally. My last job was in Denmark. It's a Danish solar company. I worked there less than 2 years. This job, although not so exciting as the job itself, but it did satisfy my curiosity about Western countries and beyond, and gave me a chance to work with researchers in DTU, Technical University of Denmark, attend their consortium meeting and present our work in PPT. their group leaders' unassuming play leadership style impressed me. I walked into UN building located in Copenhagen and had a meeting with experts working there. I was honored to attend European Parliament's meeting in Belgium, although as an onlooker at that time. I leaped into the prominence of this word and capered joyfully. Meantime, access to social media such as YouTube, Google, allow me to surf freely on internet. Like a fish swimming in an informational ocean pleasantly. I watch porn, of course, but soon lost interest in it. Most of the time, I watch something more valuable, dialogue, speech held in meetings such as Davos, APEC, G20 on YouTube. These intelligent people, their witty, insightful talk inspire me. Let me not only aware the newest issue occur in the world, but also reflect upon these heated topics such as trade war, economic development, immigrant, discrimination against gender, pollution and solution. In a global context, I become more global mindset, and I view myself as a global citizen. Christine Lagarde, whose speech I watched the most and became my role model. She had a preeminent position in this world, director at International Monetary Fund. She led a team to prompt economic gain in all corners of the world and influence the course of global economic development. She moved around national leaders in many occasions with composure and a dose of humor, but in some other occasions, she gave you a feeling like a neighbor and a white sister. She is such brilliant and congenial woman. She emanated resoluteness, intellectuality, and confidence in every move she made, and fascinated me. She set an example of how excellence a woman can reach to, and demonstrate to all people, men and women, a solid fact: women can do or do better. She inspired many women, including me, to pursue excellence. I want to like her. I'm a 45 Chinese woman standing in front of three types of discrimination: age, gender, nationality. The last one comes in if you look from global context. Fortunately, I was absolved from another type of discrimination. Look, I look good, right? Discrimination against gender is a global issue. We both men and women have to admit it and be vigilant about it. No country in this world is on track to achieve gender discrimination by 2030, according to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Gender Index. I checked this index and found out China is ranked on 74 out of 129. Discrimination against the age is another serious but ignored issue in China. People showing the open-minded are used to see. Give young people a chance to rise up, to perform. It's good, I agree. But I would say it's also good for society to give not young people a chance to transform, to upgrade, to encourage them to try new different things instead of intimidating them. Back to me. I'm not going to surrender to this discrimination. Rather, I would marshal my strength and courage, face up this discrimination and adversity. Push all those boundaries imposed on me from outside, outward further. One of my favorite Buddha saying, every moment you are born, decay, and die. There can be many interpretations from different perspectives. My interpretation is that we human beings are made up of materials. These materials are not only referred to our cells, tissues of our body, but also our mind, our temple, even our thoughts are manifest of these materials. This material change every moment. So the next question, who am I? What defined me? My answer is these mirrors of moments. The moments what you experienced, what you felt defined you, not what you have. This wisdom guide me, teach me to put more attention on process, to insist on doing things on the life course I examined and selected, no matter what result will come. An unexamined life is not worth living. A famous quote is from Socrates. I suppose business unit is the most dynamic and fierce force driven behind society. To engage in good business is a direct way to engage in society positively. A motivational seed was planted in me 10 years ago. Now it grows large. I sense it's imperative for me now to take more education. MBA program at top university is the best choice for me. 1 year intensive learning on business theory in practical way would substantially enhance my professional skill knowledge. More importantly, boost my confidence. A necessary step to achieve a new high in my career, to leap forward. Around 1 year ago, I decided to charge at MBA program at top university. I spent more than half years on GMAT, took 3 times exam, and finally got score 620. It's not satisfied but acceptable. And finally, I received an acceptance letter from Copenhagen Business School. My dreaming program, my dreaming MBA program come to my head. But huge amount of tuition fee plus living cost without scholarship stand in the way. I feel like my dream, I cannot grip my dream and see it slip away from my head, sadly. A little girl of me came to my mind frequently, recently. Look at her. She is so naive, lively, vivacious. She contains full of curiosity, shows zest in acquiring knowledge. An image of her is trenched in my brain. Sitting on a small bench, taking a chair as a desk. She indulged in imitating numbers, characters on paper clumsily, one by one, line by line, and kept in that way for hours, but without time passed. She was intoxicated in the literal world. How about her future? Is everything settled for her? Or a transformation can happen to her even after age 45? Can this miracle happen? I need you to help me to make this miracle happen. I decided to raise funds for my study. Thank you. Here are the rules of raise fund. The minimum amount of money donated here or lent here is $300. The form of money raised here can be donation or loan. Please mark it when laminating them. If it is a loan, please mark how long you wish to return. 5 years or 10 years. Please note, no interest for this loan, another form of donation. The total fund I need here is US dollar 65,000. If the fund raised here is over this amount, the exceeding amount will go to educational fund for public good, which I hope to establish through cooperating with some educational enterprise who are interested. The name of donator or loaner and the corresponding amount of money will be listed in public, very probably in my next lecture. If you go to anonymity, please mark it in advance. Here is account of raised fund.